As an executive coach, you can also have the same result of a strategy delivered. I'm not saying you can't, but there was so much demand for our services that I realized that it's impossible for me to do that by myself. I look at it the other day, I go like, wow, if everybody leaves tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. There's so much work involved.
Welcome to the Expert in You podcast, the show for professional entrepreneurs, experts, authors, speakers, coaches, and consultants who are ready to elevate their business, expand their influence, and boost their bank accounts. Join us as we dive deep with industry-leading experts who share their top strategies, invaluable insights, practical tips, and personal experiences to help you achieve extraordinary growth and success. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills, stay ahead of the curve, or find that competitive edge, this podcast is your ultimate resource for unlocking your full potential. So tune in, get inspired, grab your coffee, and let's unlock the expert in you. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Expert in You podcast. I'm your host, Ann Carden. And oh my goodness, I can't tell you how excited I am for my guest today and the conversation we're going to have, because when we had the pre-call, which is what I do with everyone that I bring on as a guest, there was so much synergy, and there were so many things that we just have the same beliefs around. And this is going to be an amazing conversation that is going to give you such value that you can walk away and start implementing into your business. So I have Adi Klevit with me today, who is the founder of Business Success Consulting Group. So Adi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ann, and thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited to dive into what we're going to talk about. AI, we're going to talk about systems. We're going to talk about mindset for people so they can really scale their business. And I'm excited because this is just going to be a really rich conversation. You have many years of experience in your business. I have many years of experience in business. And that always makes for a great conversation to be able to bounce off of each other, right?
I agree. Yes, agreed.
Let's talk about exactly what you do and who you help in your business.
Okay, good. So exactly what we do is that we create, document, optimize, and implement processes and procedures, and we help fast-growing companies scale and grow by doing that.
That's all the stuff people don't like to do, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's people like the results, like what it gives them, because it gives them the freedom. You and I talk about, it's like the freedom. It gives them consistency. It gives them the sense of there is accountability in the business. I can now grow and scale and open other locations. Knowledge transfer. So the tribal knowledge is not just sitting in somebody's head, but it's actually being transferred correctly. Help with onboarding and training. Exit. If you want to exit your business, whether you're going to sell or just exit and not having to be in every single part of the business, that is what you get. So you get that final result, but getting there, it's, you have to work for it. That's right. What we do. It's a done it for you service where we create and document the processes and procedures for businesses.
I love this because so often these are the things that really hold people back from scaling. They are the things that people get stuck in the weeds trying to do. And at the same time, they don't really drive revenue either, the same way as marketing and sales, right? And so they are things that typically people don't do well, or they don't know how to do, or they just don't want to do it. Like, I am not a person that would love doing what you do, not at all. And so if you know that about yourself as a business or as an owner or entrepreneur, to have someone that can actually come in and get that done for you, a team that can come in and get those things done, that is gold. It is just worth so much for your business.
It really is. Yes. And, to your point, I'm a visionary as well. I love, what energizes me is really doing business development and going to networking meetings and meeting people and doing things. But I also knew that, I'm also very good at organizing and putting order in. And for my own business, I knew that until I actually do what I tell my clients to do or do for our clients, we're not going to expand and grow. And there is nothing better than personal experience and actually experiencing that. And once we start documenting and once we start creating those systems internally, you become a real business. You have the foundation, you have the solid foundation that you know that you're going to be there and continue, because the business takes a life of its own. It's not something wobbly anymore. It's not something that, every day we're going to decide what to do and how to do that. It's something that is there and it's consistent, and people understand what to do. They know what needs to be done. When something is not going right, when there is an issue, you don't just have to discuss it over and over again. You know exactly what needs to happen. You refer, where's the procedure? And you read the procedure. Oh, this step is missing. Okay, good. Let's add it to the procedure. And it happens continually. It's a continual improvement, but you have the fundamentals of how to improve.
Yeah.
For where to improve.
Yes, I love that. And part of the reason why people struggle a lot of times in their business is because, especially when they're in a fast growth, you mentioned kind of hyper growth. One of the things that really makes them struggle is they keep putting their hands on something over and over and over again. They're putting out the same fires over and over and over again. And all of that just stops your growth and really can stop you in your tracks. But here's something that I want to hit on, because I've worked with multi-million-dollar businesses that did not have anything in place and things were falling through the cracks, but they would say, this is before I got a hold of them, they would say, I don't have time to implement systems. We're so busy. We have so much going on that we don't have the time to take right now and learn new systems or put new procedures in place or do this back end work. And I would argue the fact that you don't have time not to. So I would love to hear your thoughts around that as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It is just like working out. I can say I don't have time to work out, but if I don't do that, what are the consequences?
Exactly.
How is my health going to be? How is my life going to be? How's my attitude going to be? So to that, it's the same thing. I don't have the time not to do that. I can't afford not to do that, because that will catch up with me sooner or later. Yes. So it's the same thing. How can you grow? How can you expand? It depends on your goals and what you want to do. If you truly want to expand and grow, not just grow, you want to scale. What does scale mean? Scaling means that you're going to expand the business, but not necessarily have to expand your resources in terms of personnel, and also expand, and you don't have to then increase also your expenses, right? You want to expand, make more similar or more profit with the resources, with efficient resources, so you can actually get to the size that you want and service more and help more people. If you want to do that, you need infrastructure. Yes. I always like the analogy and look at it to compare it to something in the real world, right? So it's kind of like you want to build a 50-story building with no infrastructure, with no blueprint, without knowing how to do that. It's not possible. It's organizations and companies are built on specific rules and specific, basically fundamentals that have to be followed. And one of them is that you have to have those processes in place.
Right. And here's a myth too. So when someone thinks they don't have time to do this, what you're talking about actually frees up time. Yes, it's a process to get these things in place, but you come in and do it for them for the most part. So, I mean, that to have those done for you services, but when you get them in place, it actually frees up your time. You actually find that you have more time to do the things that you want to do and the things that you need to do and drive your business. So it's a bit of a myth for people to think they don't have time to do it.
That's right. I mean, and they might not. I mean, when I ask people, why haven't you, like when they come to us and I ask, well, why haven't you done it yourself? The two main reasons that I hear as an answer to the question is, I don't have the time. I don't know. I don't have the know-how. So both of those, and it's a combination of both. So when you say I don't have the time, I'm not prioritizing my time to do that. But you really shouldn't also, as a CEO or
I was going to say, it's really not a good use of your time either.
It's not a good use of your time. It's the same thing as that if you have a really busy career and you have family and you have other things, now is you make the decision whether you want to hire a housekeeper or you want to clean your house yourself. Sometimes it's fun to do that. I mean, I like to do the physical work because it's something different than what I do day to day, and I enjoy that. But it's a choice. I mean, I do it when I have the time, but I still want my house clean, so I have somebody coming in and cleaning because I choose to spend my time on other things. The same thing. I mean, I have a CPA. I mean, they do the taxes, the tax planning, the bookkeeping. I don't have to do that. I mean, I have a bookkeeper that does that. I mean, I could, but I choose not to spend my time doing that. And that is where we make the decisions and the correct decisions, but it doesn't mean that because you decide not to spend your time as the business owner, as an executive, as a leader in the company, doing that, that it is not necessary.
Exactly. It is a bit of a mindset shift for people too, I believe. Number one, you're letting go of some control when you do this. So I do believe that there's a mindset shift around that. And also just the fact that you do need these things and they are going to really be able to help your growth faster. So you can continue to move forward. But one of the things that I really want to talk about too is when people are calling you in and you're implementing these systems and these procedures and things like that for them, what kind of a time frame does it typically take for an expert team to come in and do that versus maybe someone trying to do that in their business, or maybe have an employee do it, which happens a lot too, right? An employee who doesn't really know what they're doing, but you put them on that task.
Yeah, so it depends on how you do it. So the way that we designed the program is we are working with fast-growing companies that are lacking consistency. We're working with people that are super busy. So I don't expect us to come in and let us spend there 2 weeks without them doing anything and just document and document and document. That's not going to work. So the way that I like to look at it is do it in such a way that it's doable. So what we do is we come in and we have a meeting face to face, or Zoom or Teams or online, but we have a meeting to extract the information. And that is one meeting a week for 90 minutes, which then we record it. And then that translates to about 10 hours of work behind the scenes of extracting everything, creating the videos, creating the screenshots, putting everything in a way that is very much can be followed. So we do the heavy lifting behind the scene, but we start with, first of all, identifying and process mapping the workflows in the organization. So we have a roadmap. We have a map of what needs to be followed. Then we start with the weekly meetings, going from department to department. Usually a department takes between 2 and 3 months using this method. So I tell my clients, depends on your size of the company, it can take between 6 to 12 months to get it done. However, how long have you waited without doing it yourself?
But it's getting done. That's right.
It's getting done. We, of course, can speed it up, but it's not doable. From my experience, it's really not doable and it's not necessary either, because we are starting, first of all, as soon as we come in and we put order in and we start documenting, things fall into place. Right. And it also gives the entire team the ability to get used to this mindset. And we don't stop at documentation. We also roll it out and we work on the implementation. So as we document, we also optimize, and then we work on the optimization and on the implementation.
So this is so great. And just to know that there are people out there that will come in and do this, do these things for you. And so that was one of the reasons I wanted you on here, Adi. But I want to switch gears just a little bit. And I want to talk specifically about the company that you have built, because one of the things as entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants and business owners are listening to this, one of the things that I see consultants do is they stay sort of a one-man show, and they continue to build, and they do the work, and they're trying to do everything, and maybe they outsource some of the things in their business, but for the most part, they're doing it all. They're solo. that's one way that you can do the business, right? You can build the marketing team, you can build the people to do other pieces for you, and you can stay solo and do the work. You can also build people under you. You're still the main driver, but that's what you've done. You've built a firm. So I want to talk specifically about that, because you have about 15 consultants that work under you that actually come in and implement with the clients, and they all have different areas of expertise. So there are really two ways to build a consulting business. And I always tell people you have to really decide sort of your end game. Hi, friend. I have an exciting announcement. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Expert in You podcast, but I have to ask you, have you checked out the latest issue of Expert in You magazine yet? It's jam-packed with rich content, powerful strategies, inspiring stories, and so much more to help you elevate your business and personal growth. Don't miss out. Go grab your digital copy now and join our community of experts making a difference every day. Go to expertinyoumagazine.com and check out your digital copy today. Transform your expertise into success with Expert in You magazine. It's not just a publication, it is a movement. Adi is building a business that she probably could sell or walk away from. When you are the driver, the person, there's nothing to sell. There's not much of an exit strategy there. So talk about that just a little bit, and how did you make that decision for yourself?
Yeah, for me, it was necessity, because I got to a point where there is only so much I can do in a day. Mm. And there was a lot of, we grew by demand for our services. Mm-hmm. And we do very specific work. When I was working as a strategist, I can build strategy for people. I can have strategy sessions, and then I can have, a support staff. Or now with AI, you probably can have like your meeting notes and you can extract it. And it's you talking, it's you doing. There is some research to be done behind the scenes as well. Mm-hmm. But what we are doing, although we are delivering a service, it's really, you can also look at it almost delivering a product, because the end result of what we deliver are well-documented processes and procedures that are also implemented. So we have a very specific end result. I mean, as an executive coach, you can also have the same result of a strategy delivered. I'm not saying you can't, but there was so much demand for our services that I realized that it's impossible for me to do that by myself. I look at it the other day, I go like, wow, if everybody leaves tomorrow, I'm not going to be able to do it by myself. There's so much work involved. I mean, there is so much work involved in servicing each client that we will be able to probably service 2 or 3 clients, and that's it. Now, if that's what you want, great, then just work with that. I wanted to have a bigger company. I mean, I wanted to help the clients. I saw the niche and the need, and I wanted to help as many clients as I can, because I saw the need for it. And then I realized that in order for me to be able to sustain this and be successful, I have to have people under me. And it wasn't like a overnight decision. It was just like it evolved into that. Mm-hmm. And each phase of the business had its own challenges. And in order to keep improving and keep stepping up and going to the next level and the next level, I realized that I need to build those systems in my own business in order to be successful.
Did you work with mentors or coaches or people that guided you on this path? Because so often, or was it more trial and error for you? How did you really discover that?
Well, the thing is that part of the systematization is what we're experts in. So I kind of like looked at it and I go like, I should swallow my own pill. Come on, I know what to do. I've been recommended
do what you tell people to do, right?
And that's exactly right. So that was kind of like, if I'm not doing it, how can I tell others to do it? So in that part, in terms of the strategy of the business, in terms of the implementation of the systems, I basically have people under me that are experts at that. So I utilize what I have. And I basically told my team, we have to look at us as a client. We are a client, because that's what happens. I mean, that's the cobbler kids, it is just you're not taking it seriously, because one day we'll get there. So the one day we'll get there is right now. And we basically start looking at ourselves as one client. and we have a project documentation, or we made a project documentation project, and we start documenting, and we documented, and we created the infrastructure, and that was huge. So, but yeah, do I have mentors? Do I have people I look up to? Absolutely. And peers as well. I'm part of several peer groups, masterminds, etc. That obviously you look at who is successful, and those are the ones that you want to look and emulate that.
Right. So let's talk about AI for a minute, because I would be curious to know how much AI has affected your business, because wouldn't a lot of people, now I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here, wouldn't a lot of people think, oh, we can just create our own procedures and our systems and all of that using AI? How has that impacted what you do, or has it impacted what you do? I would love to hear your thoughts.
Sure. I mean, I hear that people say, oh, and I know you're playing devil advocate, but they say that, and I go like, okay, good luck, because there are some things that, I mean, you can go to ChatGPT and say, create a policy or create a procedure on how to do new client intake. And ChatGPT will come up with whatever it comes up. You can also dictate to ChatGPT, which I do that, like even internally. Like if I know specifically what processes I want to create, then you can just dictate it and it comes out. You still need to figure out if that's what's workable for you and your business. And there is also the extraction of knowledge and knowing how to ask those questions. So you still, it's like, how do you create that procedure? I mean, that's what I asked back. Yeah, AI can do it. Well, how? Tell me how you're going to do that.
Right.
It's like, for instance, if you have even the podcast, you're going to be a guest on our podcast. We have a very specific procedure on how to create the podcast. I can ask AI to create a procedure for me, but it might not have anything to do with how I do things. And our signature services is what we do. It's hard-won knowledge and experience. And what we find that you really have to put your human element and thinking
and expertise
is to actually make sure that you have the correct sequence of events.
Yes.
Figure out what worked and what didn't work. And what AI puts out there, how do you know that it will actually work for you? I mean, we have the expertise of working with hundreds and hundreds of businesses. Our combined experience is probably thousands of businesses. We've seen it, we know, and we can implement it. So that's one thing, is that I wish AI could do that, because then we will use it internally as well. We will have AI interview the client and AI write it, and that's it. So that is that aspect of, but I'm not talking it down. I mean, AI is here and to stay, and we are an AI.
And there's a lot of great ways to use it.
Yeah, and we are very much in advanced, and we take the courses and we learn. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is AI is going to be here to stay. It doesn't mean that now all the consultants are going to go away. And as an example, a marketing agency. Yes, you can say, oh, well, I don't need to hire a copywriter because I can just have AI write my articles. Well, can it really? You still need to have the human element that can produce a good product if you want people to actually read it. And yes, you can use AI, but how can you ever stay on top of it? I mean, if you have the answer, let me know, because me as a business owner, so busy, I'm trying to carve some hours, like I'm going to a retreat next week, about AI. It's an AI collaborative, because I'm going to learn new things there. But throughout our week, when am I going to find time to learn it? So that's why I'm going to go to an expert, to a marketing agency that I trust, that they have people there that's what they do. They have an AI research and development. They have an AI expert. And if they create a great article for me, I don't care if they use whatever tool in AI, but I didn't have to do the research on how to do that, because I am not going to wear also the marketing hat for 40 hours a week. So what we did internally is we hired an expert in AI to work as part of our team. So he's part of the team, and his job is to do research of all the latest tools and how we can use AI and how we can leverage AI and how we can build custom GPTs for our clients to use as well. We created the Process Guru AI that answers questions, and some of our clients start using it. So we definitely provide the tools, but AI is not going to replace, it's going to enhance. And another thing on that is that we actually experienced expansion because of AI, because in order to build AI agents, you gotta know your processes. You gotta have your processes in place, and you have to have it step by step. And you can't just say, I'm going to hire an AI agent and then they're going to do what? You have to give them the steps. You have to have the process mapped. And I'm actually going to facilitate a session next week in part of the AI workshop in terms of explaining why processes are so important. And yes, you can use AI to build a process, but you have to drive it.
And I really wanted to talk about this with you because so many people are relying so heavily on AI. I'm seeing this a lot in the consulting, coaching, kind of the solopreneur space. They're relying a lot on AI, but they're still not subject matter experts. I had someone come to me. I think we talked about this. I had someone that came to me and wanted to create over a 6-figure offer. And he said, hey, what do you think about this? Because he knows that's what I help people do. And I looked at it and I thought, and I said, I knew he created it with AI, but it was clearly missing so many pieces and the positioning and everything. Nobody is going to pay him that. And that's only one piece of it anyway. What about his positioning online and how he shows up, and all of those things are a piece of selling those really high-end offers. And so he said, well, this is my second run at it, but I could clearly see the problems because I've been doing this with people for years, but he was not an expert at creating 6-figure plus offers or positioning or any of the things we're talking about. And so I just wanted to say, well, good luck, because it's not going to probably go anywhere for you. And that's what we're talking about. If you don't know really the nuances and the details and the ins and outs, ChatGPT or any kind of AI is only going to spit out something fairly generic that probably isn't going to be the thing that you're really wanting it to be. Is that a fair assessment?
That is very, very much so. And I think AI is wonderful for repetitive tasks. And what we do also when we create the processes, we identify where AI can come into play. Like, for instance, even simple tasks like, we're recording and then you want to transfer it to your drive. You do not need to do it manually. AI can do that. Or identify, like, when we record a podcast, we wrote very specific instructions. We run it through AI and then the summary comes out, but we still have a human look at it and make sure that it makes sense. But it took us a while, like going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until it was in my voice and the voice of the company. And we still have deviations from it. So we have to return it to the voice. But somebody had to define what the voice is. It wasn't AI.
Right.
We could upload all the episodes that we have and ask AI to identify the voice. And it did give us some adjectives. But we had to start with episodes that we created without AI. It wasn't an AI episode going to AI. It was ours. This is what the AI came up with as adjectives. I didn't agree with all of that. We make some tweaks, changes and tweaks and changes and tweaks and changes until we actually got something that makes sense. And that's how you build it.
Right. This has been so good. I feel like we could talk for a long time because there's so much to talk about, but this has been so great. I want to just talk about one more thing before we wrap up. And that is how you're getting clients. And one of the things that drew me to want to have you on my show, Adi, is just how you're showing up, your presence, the things that you're out there doing. One of the things that I help people do is really show up almost like a rock star expert in their industry or their niche, so they can bring in those high level clients. And I was so impressed by everything that I saw. You have a show, you're doing a lot of things, you're speaking, you're networking, you're doing outreach. I want to talk about that because that is what it takes in the market today to do what 99.9% of people are not doing. Do you find that as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that I learned when I launch, I mean, I have my business now since 2011, and then I went transforming it in 2016, more concentrating on the processes and procedures. And it takes being out there. It takes talking to people. To me, it comes naturally. I love that. That's what energizes me. That's what I enjoy. And it's not the networking. People have a misconception about networking. It's not going there and giving your business cards. You have to show up wanting to help, wanting to give, wanting to be interested, willing to be interested. And then I was doing it a lot. It was all the referrals, the word of mouth, and people knew me very well, and it was more concentrated in a geographic zone. Then, of course, COVID hit 2020, and I realized that all of the business development that I've been doing, I can't do it anymore the same way.
Right. But I had to come online. Yes.
Exactly. But I built a very strong network, and that's definitely my power is the network. But I needed a way to continue to contribute to the network and nurture it. And I realized also coming out of COVID is that I need to diversify. I can't put all my eggs in one basket. It can be and it's also not sustainable for me to do the networking.
I was going to say, it's very time consuming. And you're only one person, right? You can only do so much of that. Yeah.
But and I also learned that I like that. So what I have the connections. I want to build on the connections. So that's when I started my podcast. I thrive on, I love it. I have almost 500 episodes. I get to talk to people that are interesting to me. I help promote them. They help promote me. I write. So I write for CEO World, for Inc.com, for Forbes. I love writing those articles. They all have to be unique articles. So it takes time, but it's my thought. I put thought to it. I really look at it. I'm in the process of writing a book. I'm guest on other people's podcasts, which I love as well. You have to think outside the box, but you have to also now, it's not just, it went back. So I also go to networking events in person, but they have to make sense. There are ones that
that's strategic about spending where you spend your time. Yes.
It's like over last weekend, I went to, I'm part of NABO, the National Association of Women Business Owners. And there was 12 of us that went to Colorado and climbed the mountain. It was 12,500 feet tall.
Oh, how fun.
It was awesome. Amazing experience, but I was surrounded with people, like-minded people that they like that kind of adventure and pushing themselves. That's an example. I was, so all of that, a combination of all of that, but you have to enjoy doing that. That's the thing is like, it has to energize you. It can't be something you dread, and it's but it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the things that if you didn't hear what she said, I talk about stacking your marketing. And really, when you do this effectively, they feed each other. Your offline networking probably feeds your podcast feeds your client list.
100%.
I mean, all these things work together when you have the right strategic approach. So you're not spinning your wheels and doing multiple things that don't go anywhere. They really become feeders for each other. But it is a stack. It's like you are stacking your systems. And it's too many people I see don't do that. They're very sporadic in everything they're doing. They don't really have any kind of marketing or sales systems in place. So they don't really have anything that's really working, or they're sitting around just waiting for a referral. That's not going to grow businesses or scale businesses. And so that was one of the things too that impressed me about you, because quite honestly, most of the industry that we see, they're not doing these things, and you are, and that was one of the reasons too why I wanted you on the show to talk.
No, I appreciate it, and what you said is so spot on. There needs to be a strategy, and we're gonna also publish the episode that you and I are gonna do together on my podcast, and the spotlight will be on you. But that's what you help people with, and it's so important because you can get yourself spread out too thin. And that is one of the main fundamentals of what we do and what I believe in is that, again, it's a system. You have to figure out your strategy and then push it through with a system. And everything that we do has to align. It's not something that doesn't have anything to do with something else. When I go and network, I network in a place where my potential clients are going to be there, or like right now, like the collaboration between me and you. So we play in the same sandbox with the same clients. So then I can help you, you can help me. And those are the type of networking events that you have to choose, not something that has it completely unrelated to what you're doing. The shows you get on, my marketing director, she's very particular in terms of figuring out what is the shows that I'm actually going to be featured on, because it has to be on brand. I mean, we all make mistakes and end up go like, this doesn't have anything to do, but it's fine. I mean, I spoke, hopefully I helped somebody, but it's all on brand and it creates content. And then you take the content and you maximize it, you repurpose it. It doesn't have to be that hard. It's actually easy that way. It's much harder to just shoot in all directions with no strategy, and then you feel exhausted and you feel
that's exhausting and overwhelming, and and complex, and it doesn't go anywhere. So
that's correct.
Absolutely. This has been so great, Adi, and I'm looking forward to being on your show as well. But what a great conversation. I hope we brought a lot of value to you today. I hope we shifted your mindset and thinking differently. And hey, if you are a consultant, think about the way she's built her business and how she's built other consultants under her and what she's been able to accomplish. And again, she has a business here that she'll be able to sell or exit someday. That's such a great power play. I've sold 5 businesses myself. And so to be able to do that is such a win-win. Otherwise, you're shutting it down, right? When you decide, I don't want to do this anymore, or I want more time, you're shutting it down or you're losing business because you can't spend the same amount of time. So I love it. It's been a great conversation with you, and you are a rock star expert in your niche, and it's been such a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe to the show and please share it so other people can get to know Adi and can hear her expertise. And we want to get her out there even more in the spotlight because we know people need her services. So thank you again. And until next week, God bless you and go rock your business.
The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Although I share strategies, ideas, and success stories based on real experiences, results are never guaranteed. Every business is unique, and outcomes depend on individual effort, market conditions, and many other factors. By listening, you agree that I and my guests are not responsible for your results or actions based on the content shared.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you're as excited as I am about scaling up your influence, business, and bank account, then I have just the thing for you. But first, make sure you subscribe to the show. Second, make sure you share it with someone you care about because sharing is caring. And third, head on over to join me in my next free virtual exclusive workshop where we'll explore proven strategies to boost your business and maximize your potential. Look, it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're looking to take your business to the next level, my workshops are designed for you. So head on over to expertinyouworkshop.com to reserve your spot and get ready to transform your expertise into extraordinary success. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and helping you achieve incredible growth. Until next time, make sure you're always seeking the expert in you, and God bless. Have an amazing day.